So in our previous video, we set up two 3D views, 7 and 8 here of the steel frame, and then with the decking, the frame with the deckings and the roof. And so next, what we're going to do is create a couple of plan levels, so structural plans. We're going to create two of them, one the foundation plan, and then a typical level 1 using level 1. So we're going to open up top of footing view, and then these elevation markers, we probably don't need those. Yeah, we don't need them in our view. So I'm going to duplicate this though. So duplicate with detailing, okay? And we're going to call this our view 10 or something like that. We'll rename it so that I'll remember what it is. So I'll call this 10. And top of footing view. And then I'm going to move a few things around, make sure that these are fairly tied in. These might be, well, we're going to dimension them, so they're probably okay. We'll make that decision later. This is probably could be moved in a little bit more. So I'm going to move those in a little bit more. I just want you to see the foundation. So we're going to turn off. Let's see here. Let's tab until we can get, yeah, the slabs. So we're going to turn off the slabs, hide in view by element, and do the same thing here, hide in view by element. Okay, so what I want is your footings and your grade beams. The other thing is we don't need the column designations or the columns in this because we're just focusing on the foundation. So we're going to select that and say select all instances visible in view, and then we're going to hide them. Okay, so all I want you to have is the foundation itself. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is tag a few of these things and put some dimensions in. So let's put a few dimensions in here. Let's go in and we're going to say, well, the other thing we need to probably turn off is these grids that have to do with the mezzanine, because we're not building a foundation. So we're going to hide the mezzanine grids because they don't have anything to do with the foundation. So now it's cleaned up a little bit better even now. And so let's just, throw in some dimensions here. We need these dimensions real quickly. And then we need an overall. So we can put an overall in here. And then we'll get these dimensions here. And then we need these dimensions right here. And now I think we've got everything dimensioned that we need. Oh, well, we probably want an overall dimension here or here. We'll just put it over here with the others. We'll just do an overall right there. Okay. So now we have some basic dimensions, and then what we're going to do is tag some of these elements using annotation. So we're going to go into annotation, and so in annotation, we're going to real quickly, we'll annotate the ground beam. I'll just show you one way of doing this. If we go into annotations, then we can tag all. And for instance, I can say structural framing tags, okay, and then apply that. And since the grade beams are a part of the structural framing tags, now for some reason, maybe there's two of them in there. Oh, there were. Okay, I got two labels here, so that implies that there was two For some reason, I got two on top of each other. So I deleted them. That's good. We caught that. You know, I might want to move these dimensions up so that they're not in the tag. The other thing we want to tag is these piers. Now to do that, we're going to need a structural foundation tag, which isn't loaded. I've loaded it already, so it is loaded for me. I'll just go in under families, annotation and symbols, and you'll see these are a variety of different annotation. You'll see structural beam, structural framing, I'm not sure where, boxed and standard, structural beam. Well, maybe I haven't. Anyway, let's go in and add it. So we're going to go into families. So we're going to go insert, into load families. We're going to go to, once again, annotations. Okay. I'm going to back this out so you can see where it is. Okay, structural, U.S. Imperial, and then in the beginning list, annotations. So if we go into annotations here, then we're going to go into structural. And if we go down here and you'll see structural beam, column, foundation tag with elevations and structural foundation tag. I'm just going to use this one. We don't want elevations. So I'm going to open that. Okay. And if we want more information than that, then we can use it. But so with that now, I'm going to go back to annotations and tag by category. And now notice that when I find the pier, so what I want you to do is just tag. All you need to do, you don't need to tag all these. That'd be kind of silly. But you can tag, let's just tag these right here, okay? So for me, just tag the ones in this bay right here, okay? And we'll come back and move them around so that, because they're not very, right, legible where they, so I'm just going to move it over here so that we can see it better there. This one, that particular tag there. Oh, come on. There we go. I hit the escape key to get out of that mode. Let's move it over a little bit more. Okay. So, and then this one needs to be moved. So, you know, move them around so that you can see the text, you know, so that you can read it and it's not on top of things. And then you can use this little dot to move the tag name. Okay, so anyway, I guess I've already done. So just do this bay. You don't have to worry about tagging everything. And so now we have this view good enough for what I want you to do. Then, you know, just maximize it so we can see it. And then we'll capture it with the other plan view that we're going to do. So let's do the other plan view now. So we made us this view, this top of footing view, and then I'm going to do the same thing with, let's see, the framing for level 2. So I want to make this a view. And so I'm going to rename it. And so we'll rename it. We'll duplicate it, not rename it. I'm sorry. We don't want to rename that. We want to duplicate that view. And then rename it. And instead of finished floor, we're going to call it structural plan. And we want it named 11. And so with that done, then we don't need this property line because that'll be set. So we're going to hide anything else. Once again, you want to hide anything that's not structure. You may already have these dimensions in there when you were spacing those. If you do, you can just leave them. Once again, I just want you to put a representative set of dimensions. So let's just run a few dimensions here, and we'll run a few dimensions here. Then we'll run an overall dimension there. And we'll run another dimension there. Let's modify this so that at least it looks a little cleaner. Whether you choose to put the bubbles on the outside or not, notice I'm not going to hide the M2s and the M1s because that actually helps define. I don't know if that's the best place to dimension that, is right there. I would probably move it outside. I like to, can't get a move on it though. There we go. And I would probably just push all these up. 4. And so, yeah, let's pull all of this up a little bit. Make it a little bit more legible. So dimension there, and probably need to add another dimension there. So let's just add another dimension there. So we have those. And we can take these if in the wrong place. So let's take the cancel. Let's pull that up some and pull this one up some. There we go. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. So once again, just get some perimeter dimensions in here. Show me that you can dimension, that you know how to find dimensions. The next thing we're going to do is change, since this is a structural plan, engineers don't draw the top of the beam. All they do is they draw lines for, so I'm going to turn on course. This is the type of plan that they provide. And then they tag these so that it won't be so confusing, okay? So we have a dimension right here that really is in our drawing that we probably shouldn't have. Yeah, those are, once again, I'm going to delete those. They'll just be confusing. They don't really help. And what I'll do is tag unconstrained, okay. And then let's put a series of dimensions on the outside right there so we can align. We'll put a series of dimensions out here. Now your beams, let's tag these beams. So what we're going to do is go into annotation. We'll tag all, okay, and structural framing tag, okay. And we'll say okay. And then basically what it did is it came in and it, tagged. We would probably move some of these around so that they weren't overlapping each other, so that they could be read a little bit easier. And then some of them we might even delete and place manually. But that's good, just so that you can understand, what they're going to do. They're going to tag those. And then let's tag a column. So we're going to go into annotations, click on tag by category, and then I'm going to select this, and it's going to say there is no loaded structural column tag. So do you want to load one? And if I say yes, it's going to take me once again to the tag here. Let's go down to structural. There's a structural column tag right there at automatically 45 degrees, I think. We'll just pick that out. And then now it'll tag it, right? Oh, let's use the 45 degree one. I think that's what that means. So let's back up here. And let's go into insert loaded family, and let's go down here to structural tag column. I think it'll load it at, yeah, 45 degrees. Yeah, I don't know if that's better or not. Okay, we really should have a line that goes to it. If we're gonna, sometimes that just makes it easier to see. Once again, just tag a few of these. Once you show me that you can do one of them, then or a series of them, then that's enough. Annotate. Once again, we can do that, and then we can run the line up to it. We can do this. And not letting me control that a whole lot. So anyway, tag, a few of these columns right here, and then and that'll be fine. So now we have our structural plan, and this is the only plan that we need here. So we've got the two plans now. I'm going to close this view and close the top of footing view, and I'm going to close everything but the two plan views that I've created. So let's close that, and then I'm going to WT to tile it so that we have one plan over here, and the other one we'll zoom in. We don't need these tags either, these elevation tags, but we're going to zoom in enough. Okay. So once again, zoom in, try to get everything in the frame, and then let's capture those two plans. And in the next video, we're going to set up some sectional views.